My name is Thomas Gammeltoft-Hansen. I'm from Denmark, and I'm a professor of migration and refugee law and the director of the Center of Excellence for Global Mobility Law at the University of Copenhagen. That's a tough question because it's been coming to play an increasing role in an increasing number of different areas, from family unification to asylum. In fact, we've seen a vast expansion of human rights litigation in the migration domain over the last 10 to 20 years, both when it comes to regional human rights courts like the European Court of Human Rights, but also when it comes to the individual cases before the UN treaty bodies. And you can say that it is a thing that has transformed both the migration law domain and maybe also the human rights law domain, in the sense that on the one hand it has given teeth to a field of law like migration, where typically you didn't have access to international courts, and vice versa. It has also, of course, been part of very intense political discussions on international human rights law, the role of human rights courts in the past few years. The Nordic countries have responded quite differently. What's interesting is that some of the Nordic countries are very heavily represented in the international case law, especially from the UN tribunals, namely Denmark and Sweden. And you also see that some of the Nordic countries have responded in various ways by thinking more strategically about how, for instance, they might position themselves after judgment is rendered, trying to amend legislation that would somehow recoup elements of the existing policy without directly violating the new precedent established. You see countries that have pushed for more open reforms of the international human rights systems, like Denmark, that pushed for a declaration in the Council of Europe that at least initially was also framed to try and limit the court's role in the migration domain, something that ultimately did not find favor among all the member states.